Hi, my name is Somkele and I played the character Zaya. When I got the script for Soldier Story 2, I read it the whole way. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't stop for once. So that's always a good sign. If I'm able to put the script down, then probably not. So this was one of those scripts where I saw something very different and I hadn't watched Soldier Story 1. So I was a bit concerned about, the continuity of the story, the link of the characters. Would I get it? But what I really liked about part two is that it was a story in and by itself. It could actually stand alone and not have that much connectivity. You would only watch part one just because you would want to maybe get a better idea of the characters and whatever background story they may have had. But as a story by itself, it was fantastic. I loved everything about it. What I really love about the character that I'm playing and how she's been written is that she's very unassuming. Average girl that has a regular job. Nothing much happens in her city, or in her town. But she makes the best of it. And she then plays the hero at the end of the day. You don't see that much strength coming out of women in the way that it has been written or displayed in this sense. So that's what I really like about her. She's very strong-willed. For someone who's just the average secretary to her boss, who's a white man that just lives in this little town. However, he's made his money. He now has like a nice-looking house and a wine cellar. He has his own little bigger than average country home in her town, and she helps him out. So she has a very quiet, decent life. She's not married. There's no love story to her, but you can tell that there's a lot of strength, and she's the responsible friend. That's why she's been given the responsibility of taking care of Regina's brother.
See? I didn't take too long after all.
Well, I guess you read it. So, we go now?
Yes, I've given you pocket money in your bank. Now, remember, stay out of trouble, and you are coming home this weekend.
Coming home again? Must I come home every weekend? This is a college and we have accommodation. Remember?
Edwin, I know you are a college student, okay? But I made a promise to my friend Regina that I will look after you. And I intend to fulfill that promise, no matter how many times I failed her in the past.
But Miss Zaya,
No buts, okay? You are coming home this weekend and every weekend after that.
Funny enough, I thought I might have a bit of a struggle sustaining the accent, but I did a lot of practice before getting on set. I watched a whole series that was Botswanan and, references from the director. And I tried to also do a lot of that closer to my shoot dates. So it was unique. It was interesting. I've done other accents, but not that one. And it's the accent where everyone just assumes, oh, they're from Africa. So, and I typically don't like to do that, but I like how this is a fictional town. So we could play around with, however we wanted to sound, although the director had a direction. So this town is in West Africa, but they sound more like somewhere in the southern part of Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana. So I had that reference, and it's so much fun, and it's weird how I can go back and forth. It tested an ability I didn't quite know that I could play with like that, and yeah, I loved every bit of it. I will say the most challenging scene was shot yesterday, actually, and it wasn't the longest scene. It might have been the shortest scene, but it was a scene where my character Zaya was pretty much kidnapped by Bossman and his goons. And she had absolutely no idea what was going to become of her. And I sat there. We shot it at night, but it was a daytime scene, and you're in this abandoned building, which is actually abandoned. So everything was just as real. It's just that we called it acting, but the whole set, everything was real, hands tied, feet tied, and you've got your mouth taped. And I have such fantastic actors I'm working with, Sambasa and Daniel, and he made everything even more real. And I like to internalize this scenario, situation, given background story of who I am playing. So I'm Zaya at this point, and I don't know what I'm going to do. what is going to be my bargaining chip. My mind is racing now. But because she's calculating, she knows that these guys, all they want is money at the end of the day. Yes, they might rape me. They might get the money and rape me. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm in a situation where I might lose my life, but it's not going to be with just a gunshot. It's going to be traumatic. What am I going to do?
So, you sleep with the enemy. Hmm? You Bosangwa women, Miss Gina betray me. Miss Angela betray me. And now you want to join too. Eh? What is wrong with you Bosangwa women? Tell me, what?
Please, boss.
I tell you to speak. Bossman tell you to talk. You talk when Bossman tell you to talk. You know what is this? Yes? No? This is Nigerian Army medal. This is Niger Army medal. You betray me. You disappoint me.
I didn't know he was a soldier.
You didn't know he was a soldier, but you know he is foreigner. You stupid, you greedy. Tell me, why? Why you sleep with the enemy?
Nobody sleep with anybody.
Shut up! Shut up, woman! I show you what I do to traitor, you infidel! Get to end this!
You don't want to do that.
What you say?
I said you don't want to do that. I have something that you want.
You think you know what Bossman want, eh? What you think Bossman want? What you think Bossman want more than bend you over right now?
When they said cut, I think at the fourth shot or the fifth shot, I literally needed to go to a corner and cry. I really, really felt scared, genuinely. And I like to do that because I like it to be real, but I needed to know that this wasn't real. So I needed to step away. I first asked the question, director, how many more shots do we have? He's like, oh, the next one is the last one. So I said, okay, fine, no problem. So I went away. I said, if there are two things. If I start crying now, uncontrollably, the whole set is going to shut down. I think something is genuinely wrong. So I needed to talk myself out of that place, step out of Zaya, and say, Somkele, you're working. So I stepped out of her, and then I became Somkele, and then I was calm until we said action again. Otherwise, I was very there. I was shaking and going to cry. I feel like it's a different dimension when you're able to still emote through working physically. Like, you're running and then you're being shoved in the face and then yanked by this, and it's so interesting. It gives a completely different dynamic as opposed to maybe a monologue where you're saying something and then the emotions come. It's a different kind of strength that is required for both. And I loved how I was able to do that. I mean, I work out every day, so that was pretty easy. Running wasn't a problem, you know. But the fact that they were grabbing me, oh my God. There's some sacrifices you make in life, but I don't know how to say it. When it feels good, it feels good. And always, always, always go for what you feel is good. Put your heart towards everything you're doing. And the heart that's been put into this film is not something that you will not see. It will definitely translate in screen and on screen. I'm always so proud to give up whatever you think you're giving up, be it time, be it another opportunity for working at home with people that love what they do, even with the very extreme conditions we might be working in. We're built for tough, is what I'm saying, and can never take it for granted, never. So thank you, Frank, thank you, Martin, and let's do this.